Welcome to the Academy, a series focused on the basics of Star Wars: The Old Republic. Star Wars: The Old Republic's 7.1 update has brought a great new way for solo players to get some of the best gear in the game, as long as they know how to take advantage of the various level 80 systems in place. In this guide, I'm going to teach you the fastest and easiest way to get the best gear solo players can get in the game. Our general goal is to try and obtain these two things: an overall item rating of 324 or higher, plus a single item that is item rating 330 with a blue border. Getting these two things will allow you to get an almost full set of 330 blue gear for all of your characters on your server. All these steps we're going to take are the fastest and most efficient way to get to that point while you're playing as a brand new level 80 character who only wants to play solo. You can use this same method to gear up with friends or in a group. It'll just be faster if you aren't playing alone. Alright, step 1. As soon as you hit level 80, the very first thing you should do is head to the supply section of the fleet and speak to the big blue Twi'lek quest giver. Make sure to talk to him twice, which will give you the Technological Advancements quest. This will eventually allow you to buy some of the best implants for your characters in the game. Right now though, we're just picking up the quest. Your next step is to complete a Conquest while at level 80. Conquest is a weekly set of rotating objectives, and your goal is to earn 100,000 points within the week. You can see the Conquest panel by opening your missions windows and pressing the Conquest tab. Completing a Conquest at level 80 will give you enough endgame currency to buy your first basic level 80 gear set. By the way, if you need help with Conquest or maps to any of the locations mentioned in this video, check the description of this video for a full guide and maps. Step 3. Purchase a basic gear set. You're going to go to the supply section of the fleet and find the Conquest gear vendor. You're going to buy one of each armor piece, a main hand and an offhand, 2 of the yellow colored implants, a yellow earpiece, and 2 different red relics. Step 4. Get a low-level earpiece. Once you have a full set of level 80 gear on, find and equip a low-level earpiece. We'll be using this earpiece to trick a Flashpoint into giving us slightly better gear than it would normally. The easiest place to get a low-level earpiece is on the planet of Osis from the gear vendor. Then equip it. Whatever earpiece you get, it must not be for level 80 characters. It has to be lower level. Why are we wearing a low-level earpiece? Veteran Flashpoints, which are a type of group content designed for 4 players but are something we are going to be soloing, will normally drop a piece of randomly chosen green gear for your character each time you defeat a boss. However, if the randomly chosen piece of gear happens to be an accessory piece in a Veteran Flashpoint, instead of being green, it will be blue as kind of like a bonus. In addition, if the Flashpoint detects that you happen to have a really low-level piece equipped, it will try and drop you that specific piece. We can combine these two facts together to force the Flashpoint to drop a blue earpiece when it would normally drop a random green item. This is why we're equipping this low-level earpiece. Step 5. Fight the first boss of a Veteran Flashpoint. Veteran Flashpoints are meant to be fought in a group, but many of them can be done solo with a companion with a bit of practice. For this guide, we will be running Red Reaper, the Flashpoint, in Veteran mode, but we'll be running it alone, solo. Ideally, you'll be doing this on a character who has the ability to stealth, which will allow you to skip many of the smaller enemies between the bosses. It's pretty easy with a little practice, even though it's designed for 4 people. I do have a full guide on how to solo Veteran mode Red Reaper up on the site. As long as you have your low-level earpiece equipped, the boss will guarantee a drop of a blue earpiece. You are going to keep this blue earpiece safe. It is your child, is your precious baby. You are going to upgrade it all the way up from 320 to 330. Do not delete it, destroy it, sell it, or disintegrate it. I recommend putting it near the bottom of your inventory so it stays separate from anything else that drops. Step 6. Run about 20 more Veteran Flashpoints. I hope you enjoyed running Red Reaper because you'll be running it about 20 more times. You'll keep that low-level earpiece equipped, and anytime you defeat a boss, you'll get a type of currency called FP-1 stabilizers. In addition, when you defeat a boss, you'll also be getting a blue earpiece every time you fight a boss. For all these extra earpieces you'll be getting, you'll be deconstructing them, which will give you an additional, give or take about 10 FP-1 stabilizers per piece. You can deconstruct the leftover earpiece items by clicking the broken lightsaber icon in your inventory that's selecting the leftover items. Don't deconstruct that first earpiece. Keep it secret, keep it safe. Step 7. Upgrade your blue piece. You'll be bringing your blue earpiece to the Flashpoint gear upgrades vendor in the supplies section of the fleet. You'll need a large pile of FP-1 stabilizers, a small pile of daily resource matrices, and some credits to upgrade that blue earpiece. The FP-1 stabilizers will come from the Flashpoint bosses and deconstructing the extra blue gear, and the daily resource matrices will come from running either daily planets or heroics from the solo panel, which is the icon of 3 little people near your minimap. So to give you an example, to upgrade your blue earpiece from 320 to 322, the first upgrade, it'll cost you 140 FP-1 stabilizers and 25 daily resource matrices. Overall, it'll cost you around 800 FP-1 stabilizers, which is about 20 rounds of Red Reaper total, and 170 daily resource matrices, which is about 6 planets worth of dailies. So while this is probably not something you're going to complete in just one day, this path is still one of the fastest gear grinds in the entire game and unlocks a really great reward. Step 8. Obtain an overall item rating of 324. In addition to getting that one single blue earpiece up to blue 330, you also need to get your overall item rating up to 324. How you do this is kind of more up to you, but you need to reach a total of 324, which can include that blue earpiece while it's equipped. If you're trying to be smart about it, you should work on upgrading your implants and your relics, as you'll have to eventually do these anyway. Ideally, you'll want to upgrade 2 correctly chosen legendary implants and 2 carefully chosen blue relics if you're trying to get the absolute best gear in the game for solo players. You will be completely replacing all of your armor pieces, your weapon, and your offhand at the end of this guide, so it can be kind of pointless to upgrade them unless you're just trying to get to that 324 any way you can. You can upgrade your gear using the solo green route with the Conquest commendations and running dailies and heroics, or upgrade blue gear using Flashpoint currency like you were before, or through getting your legendary implants with tech fragments. You'll likely do a little of all 3 as you play. You just eventually need to get an overall item rating average of 324 overall. I ended up getting my 2 legendary implants, 2 relics up to 330, and of course my blue earpiece to 330, with the rest being basic 320 gear that I got at the very beginning and I didn't upgrade, to add up to an average of 324. Step 9. Unlock Hyde and Zeek. Woohoo! Once you have an overall item rating of 324 and have your blue 330 earpiece, you can unlock Hyde and Zeek and complete their quest. So you'll speak to Hyde and Zeek, pick up the blue 330 prototype quest, then after you have the quest, deconstruct your precious baby blue 330 earpiece once you've confirmed that you are on the right quest. After you speak to Hyde and Zeek again, you'll be able to turn in the quest and a vendor will become available. Step 10 is going to be creating your new armor set. You're going to start by getting and equipping a full set of empty moddable gear, weapon, and offhand equipped. You can easily get a set of this in the supplies section from the adaptive vendor. It can basically be any moddable gear. I recommend using legacy gear, as then you can trade it between your characters. If you're looking for a legacy-bound offhand or main hand, you can spend some tech fragments at the Spoils of War vendor, also in the supplies section of the fleet. Next, equip what you have available or can get for the best of what you can get for your relics, earpiece, and most importantly, your legendary implants. To mod your gear, you need to hold down your control key and right-click the piece of gear. This will open the modifications window. For the next steps, I'm going to be talking about a damage character, as it's the most common type of character. You take different steps if you're a healer or a tank. Next, you'll be looking at your accuracy stat in your character sheet, the details button. You want to reach as close to 2,694 accuracy as possible, better known as 110% accuracy, for non-PvP content. So start by buying and equipping the yellow accuracy enhancements until you reach 110% accuracy in the details sheet, so you never miss an enemy. Note that your bracers and your belt can't have enhancements. I needed about 5 accuracy enhancements, but you may need different depending on, say, what type of implants you have equipped. Your next step is looking at your alacrity, which controls how often you can use your abilities and how fast casted abilities go. For most classes, you'll be shooting for roughly just over 2,000 or 2,200 alacrity, but it varies by class and preference. With my legendary implants, this meant I only needed to buy about 2 alacrity enhancements. The rest of your stats you can put into crit. This may mean an enhancement, or it may even mean augments instead. Just leftovers into crit. The next part is really easy and there's no math. Buy 7 of the red armorings, the versatile armoring 100 for each of your armor pieces, and then the hilts, barrels, armorings you need for your weapon and offhand. Once again, just get the red ones. Then you'll buy 9 of the red mods. They're called Lethal Mod 100, 1 for each of your moddable pieces. And there you go, you just snagged some of the best gear in the game, and by far the best gear that solo players can get in the current expansion. It was probably quite a bit of work, so feel free to give yourself a hearty congratulations there if you managed to get this far. And don't forget, if you did use a legacy bound armor set, you can send that gear set to your other characters and share it together. Or you can also just buy the modifications and enhancements and send them over to your other characters because they are legacy bound as well. As I mentioned earlier, if you are playing group content, you can actually do this whole thing but a lot faster. Basically, you can get the guaranteed gear item rating upgrades if you're using the group finder for Flashpoints. If you're running Master Mode Flashpoints, you might get lucky and start with a higher item rating piece of blue gear instead of having to start at the bottom at 320. And if you're a very high-end player, if you manage to run 2 R4 Anomaly Operations story bosses successfully, they'll give you a token that you can turn in for 328 blue gear. Use the second token to upgrade it to 330 and you can turn that in without all of the Flashpoint grind. I hope you enjoyed this in-depth explanation and all the research we're putting into figuring out the best and easiest way to gear up as a solo player in Star Wars: The Old Republic at level 80. I would love to hear in the comments below, if you're a solo player especially, do you plan on just skipping this altogether because it's way too much work, or were you able to take advantage of it and successfully get your 330 blues? If you want to show your support for the future of these guides, please visit Swtorista.com/support. And if you want more videos like this to show up on your YouTube homepage, subscribe to this channel. And as always, may the solo be with you.